Hey, fellow skeptics. Lester the Skeptic Tank here. I never really thought about this as like the forefront of my mind, but it's typically hovering in most of the commentary I provided whenever I've been given the opportunity to say something about certain topics and certain issues. I usually come from a different vantage point, and especially because I had worked in marketing for almost 2 years. There's still something about the what they call the I'm gonna use some marketing speak, sales speak about the buyer's journey and what good marketing will do for any uh, any one person, male, female, or fill in the blank, when it comes to purchasing or agreeing to whether purchasing is involved or not, or just adopting a product, a service, or simply a good. There has to be that initial draw. And so, with the way the movie industry has, lack of a better term, evolved, changed, how that landscape, especially with the age of Rona. I think I might have laid it out in another commentary about because of what happened back in late 2019 onward up until 2021 or even 2022, certain industries, in my mind, were fairly or I should say, my critique is unfairly, been given the cold shoulder. Prior to that, I was already weighing dollars and cents of the experience of going to a theater. And especially during the years of 2020 when things started getting clamped down and we were pretty much forced to live a cloistered lifestyle, especially for those like myself who live by ourselves. Up until that point, I was already weighing the sense of going to the theater, and especially if you live farther than what is considered convenient for certain people, especially if you live in a certain area of the country or certain parts of the city where you're known to get greater traffic. The attraction of going to a theater, just that journey is not worth the time. And then, of course, with the growing rates in theater tickets, some people will say, well, I don't know, it's getting super expensive. Before the whole streaming bubble blew up, the attraction or the practicality of streaming became, at least at the time when I was thinking about it, you know, if I'm just going to watch a movie, I might as well foot the bill for the movie itself. So like, especially depending on what service you use, rentals didn't cost that much. Yeah, especially if you kind of knew what you were getting into. Like, you had so many days to start watching it. And then when you watched it, it would only be available for, I think, even just 24 to 48 hours. So up until that point, you keep watching and viewing it. Versus, say, you foot the bill for a theater ticket, which would be, I suppose at the time, was roughly $10 to $15 a ticket. And at the time, I just figured that's just too much. I might as well just foot the bill to view the movie, and then I could pull together friends, and we would split a pizza or something. Do that. Be a fun time. That's the thinking. You would cut out a lot of the fluff. I guess cut all the bullshit. Alright. Okay. Now fast forward to the age of Rona. 2020, 2022, 23. We're not... Yeah, there are trappings, but I think for the most part, as a nation, we're kind of over it. And theater houses were unfairly given the shaft. Like, what prevents a theater house from adopting certain measures to be compliant? Not to go too far into the subject of who gets to deem a business as essential or not. Whatever. Okay? So, given that, I guess I changed my tune. Now, by that point, everyone's already gotten used to the cloistered lifestyle. Being, stuck at home, trying to gather their sanity, and streaming was a way to do it. All right. But as theater started reopening strategically, they were finally being allowed to do what they do best. At the same time, I think for myself, I just felt an oversaturation. So I was already indifferent to many prospective films being pushed out there. A prime emphasis was I wasn't really... One of my biggest gripes when it came to movies in the last 10, 15 years, reboot after reboot after reboot after reboot. Why do we need that? Okay, I'm not going to go into that subject, but that was a driving force for me to be kind of jaded about going to the theaters. That was a major part of my, I guess you can say, my anti-theater stance at the time. It's like, there isn't anything worth watching, or at least not anything worth telling me go to the theater to watch that movie. Okay. So I'm not one of those where I'm one or the other. I tend to think of what are deemed polar opposites. They can work creatively in tension with each other. They could still be symbiotic in certain ways, but it has to be done right. And I suppose as an industry, they're still trying to figure that out, because with this instant gratification culture, it makes it such where, for me, this concept of fear of missing out or FOMO, given how fast things are pushed to streaming, FOMO is dead to me. It's like I have no real reason to go out and pay a premium for something. So without going too long here, when I was watching Deadpool and Wolverine, like I said in the prior video, only two things stood out amid the previews. I guess that's going to be one of the things I'll be looking forward to if I get a chance to catch it at my mom and pop theater. Just a good 5-minute walk from where I live. The screen is standard screen, nothing fancy. So that also can mean that the audio experience will be such where not ear blowing senses or anything like that. So again, going back to the whole buyer's journey, like I need to be enticed. But I think that's kind of how we are as a species. Not so much that I need it in utility, but again, that concept of fear of missing out. I need this experience, or I need to experience this film. So I can say from the get-go, from a marketing perspective, the commercials for concessions in a lot of theater places, like whether we're talking Regal or AMC, doesn't do it for me. Nope. The one thing I appreciate about I don't want to give it the treatment. I suppose it's not offensive if I were to say the mom and pop hole in the wall theater house does the marketing thing better. Why? Because they show classic commercials. I don't know how old they are, but I just know that I probably know at least a couple of the brands they peddled during the previews. It's well before my time. And, it's a nice trip down memory lane because I think there's a sensory overload with the modern commercials. Oh, no, that's not how you do it. And so I can say right away, I may not be compelled to buy a concession, but I will do so to support the theater house. Because at least for the ones I've been around, they say up front. That's where they make their money. Okay. Great. Good to know. And the nice thing about the hole in the wall theater I have up the street, tickets are still $9.50 or $9, and then they even do $5 Tuesdays. So, and it's only a 5-minute walk. Can't beat that. So real quickly, the two previews. Alien Romulus. Okay. That intrigues me because I am, like I mentioned in my last video, like a Deadpool normie. I'm an Alien normie. I probably saw snippets of Alien just because my parents rented it one day, and as a kid, I just couldn't stomach that. And then when I saw the preview for Romulus, I was like, yeah, I remember seeing a similar scene. Like, okay, it's trying to go back to. I just, and for those who may know better, just feel free to drop a comment about whether or not I should do my homework and watch Alien and Aliens, or Alien 1 and Alien 2, and go from there. Okay, great. That one intrigues me because it's almost like they're trying to get back to square one, you know, keep it to the basics. And again, feel free. And I'm not sure if this is across the board for whether anyone saw Deadpool and Wolverine and AMC, for example, versus Regal. I don't know if they play the exact same previews. Maybe they do. Um, okay. So I am intrigued. I will be intrigued whether or not, also, if I feel the need to watch it in a premium screening like I saw Deadpool and Wolverine on IMAX. We'll see. The other preview, I thought it was kind of hokey, but it did give me some questions. It's called either the Red One or just simply Red One. Um, it might inspire me to do a deep dive on the various portrayals of Santa Claus or St. Nicholas. A couple things I appreciated they name dropped Myra because the historical St. Nicholas was the bishop in Myra. Okay, cool. At the same time, I'm just thinking, great, how many more of these Santa Claus depictions do we need? I mean, the last one I saw that was kind of off the wall was Violet Night. And real quickly, I didn't even finish that. I thought it was kind of cool. It was had enough to make me want to go click play on Amazon Prime. Eh, eh. No, I don't know. Um, the thing making it intriguing is the question of, especially when I saw that Chris Evans and The Rock were starring. And so it asked me the question. Number one, can Chris Evans be a leading actor? I would like to think he kind of carried Captain America, at least for Captain America First Avenger and then Winter Soldier. Don't know about Civil War. That had more of an ensemble cast. They had more characters playing roles. Now I know Winter Soldier did that, but I guess you know it remains to be seen. The Rock, on the other hand, so far doesn't seem like he can carry a film. And I would even say, based on punditry I read, might have been true, but David Bautista, another former wrestler, talked about The Rock not having any real talent as an actor. I think he's right to a degree. Because at least in what I've seen David Bautista, he's got more chops, a little more versatility to him. Especially when I saw him in the movie, I believe on Netflix, it was Master Z. It was a fictional, I think, counterpart to Ip Man. And at least to Batista's credit, he studied Cantonese, so he played a restaurant owner and gangster. So he did a good job in that role. I don't know if he's a leading man material. I forget the Max film he had played, but it just only goes to show for me anyway that his character portrayal wasn't memorable. Not enough to say, I gotta watch that movie. Because if I recall the track record of The Rock, he always has someone to kind of bounce off of. Whether we're talking Jumanji with Jack Black and Kevin Hart, um, Be Cool with John Travolta, John Travolta and Uma Thurman. The Dune movie with Keith, I think it's Keith Urban, or guy who played, forget his character name, but he's been in a lot of films. But The Rock doesn't carry a film. It's not like, when you talk about people who carry a film, even when they're paired with another, like Denzel Washington, dude can carry a film. Whether we're talking Training Day or we're talking American Gangster. Because I think there are some films, like, say, Russell Crowe with A Beautiful Mind, he carried that film. I don't know. Say what you will about Jennifer Connelly. I don't know if she's one to steal the screen, but his performance in Beautiful Mind, I think he won an Oscar or an award for that. But, he showed he's got chops. And I think he had a success with Cinderella Man. But between him and Denzel in American Gangster, for me anyway, Denzel's portrayal stole the show. And so just likewise with him in Training Day, Ethan Hawke, he's all right. But would I say that he's a screen stealer? No. Between him and Denzel stole the show for Training Day. That's just how I see it. So that's what I'm talking about in terms of those two previews. The red one will probably let me go down a rabbit hole of portrayals of Santa Claus. Well, again, drop a comment if you want about whether or not I should do some homework. Or should I just watch Romulus and judge it on its own merits? All right, well, I think I've gone on for quite a bit. And so, yeah, buyer's journey. For me, going back to that notion of good marketing, it's got to make me intrigued. Given that I've seen multiple previews, 2 of them only stuck out. And so I tend to rely a lot on word of mouth. So again, with the tension between streaming and going to the theaters, there's got to be something there. There's got to be something that will tell me this is worth going to the theater. Do I want to experience this film? Or do I just want to, is this going to be worth the money to watch it on streaming? Because I did watch Masters of the Air on Apple TV, and it could easily have been a movie that I would have probably watched in the theater. I don't know about IMAX, maybe, just like I saw Dunkirk. But the word of mouth has to be there, the enticing has to be there. And so I'm sorry, in the last year and a half, there have been trailers or previews that make me say, I gotta go to the theater and watch that movie. So let me know what you think. For those who did watch Deadpool and Wolverine, what were your intrigues in terms of movie previews? Were there any? Were there none? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to see what you got to say. And if they were the same, or if I go to my theater house, will they show the same previews? Maybe I'll write some of them down and I'll say, well, that was trash. Anyway, until the next video, fellow skeptics, peace out, and I'll catch you on the other side. Hey, fellow skeptics. Thank you very much for watching this video. Again, if you like what you see and want to get updates, feel free to subscribe. And if you do, and you want to make sure you get notifications for any of my videos, just make sure when you hit that subscribe button, you specify all when you choose the notification type. Versus personal, I'd have to tag you. And as always, feel free to drop a comment. I believe that works out better for me. You help guide what I can provide you guys and helps further the conversation. So without any further ado, until next time, peace out, fellow skeptics, and I'll catch you all on the other side. Hey, fellow skeptics. Thank you very much for watching this video. Again, if you like what you see and want to get updates, feel free to subscribe. And if you do, and you want to make sure you get notifications for any of my videos, just make sure when you hit that subscribe button, you specify all when you choose the notification type. Versus personal, I'd have to tag you. And as always, feel free to drop a comment. I believe that works out better for me. You help guide what I can provide you guys and helps further the conversation. So without any further ado, until next time, peace out, fellow skeptics, and I'll catch you all on the other side.